Marcus Hill had always been cautious behind the wheel. It was the way he'd been raised. Hands at 10 and 2, mirror checks every few seconds. No music loud enough to drown out a siren. That Thursday night, the roads were slick from an earlier rain, and he was only a block away from home after a late shift at the community center. He was exhausted, but hopeful. Tomorrow he'd find out whether he'd been accepted into the graduate program he dreamed about. Then the flashing blue lights hit. His stomach sank. He glanced at his dashboard. Speed limit? Perfect. Turn signal? Used. Registration? Up to date. So why? Before he could finish the thought, the loudspeaker blared. Driver, pull over. Now. Marcus's hands began to shake. He pulled into the parking lot of a closed grocery store. The lot empty, shadows stretching over cracked concrete. He hit go live. He didn't want to, but he remembered his mother's voice telling him, "If anything ever happens, baby, make sure people can see you." As viewers trickled in, the officer approached like Marcus was a fleeing felon instead of a tired young man on his way home. His hand rested on his holster. Another cruiser pulled up. Then another. 3 police cars. For a broken taillight, except Marcus's taillight wasn't broken. "Good evening, sir," Marcus said, his voice cracking. "Is there a reason I'm being stopped?" The officer didn't respond at first. He stared at Marcus like he was sizing up a threat. "License and registration," he finally barked. Marcus moved slowly, deliberately, narrating every gesture for the camera. "I'm reaching for my wallet with my right hand. My right hand." "Stop!" the officer snapped. Marcus froze. His heart was hammering so loudly he could barely think. The livestream chat exploded with comments. "Bro, don't move. This is insane. Someone go to his location. Step out of the vehicle," the officer ordered. Marcus swallowed hard. "Can I ask why?" "You match the description," the officer said. "Dark sedan. Black male. Possibly armed." That word possibly seemed to echo in Marcus's skull. Possibly? If they weren't sure, why were there 3 cars? He stepped out slowly, hands raised. His knees were shaking so badly that he stumbled. The officer grabbed him, flipped him around, shoved him onto the hood. The metal was ice cold. "Please," Marcus whispered. "Please. I work at the community center. I'm just trying to go home." The officer didn't respond, just tightened the cuffs. Then a 4th car arrived. But this time it brought someone else. Lieutenant Ramirez, a veteran officer known in the community for de-escalation. She recognized Marcus immediately. "Hill?" she asked, stepping forward. "What's going on?" The officer holding Marcus stiffened. "He fits." "No," Ramirez cut in sharply. "He doesn't." She clicked her radio. Within seconds, the call came through. The real suspect had been detained across town. Different car, different clothes, different build. Everything about Marcus's stop had been based on an assumption. An assumption tied to his skin color. Slowly, Ramirez uncuffed him. "I'm so sorry," she said quietly. "This shouldn't have happened." Marcus didn't answer. He couldn't. His body was shaking too violently, adrenaline still coursing through him. When he finally looked up, he saw a line of neighbors standing on the sidewalk, drawn by the lights, by the voices, by the fear. Some were filming. Some were crying. All were watching him. The video he streamed hit 3 million views by the next morning. Protests began by noon. Within days, the police department announced a full investigation into racial profiling practices. 2 officers were suspended. 1 resigned. And Marcus became the symbol of a problem bigger than his single stop. An example of how close a young black man can come to becoming a hashtag over nothing more than a drive home. Even months later, he still heard that siren in his sleep. Still felt the cold hood under his cheek. Still replayed the moment when he had wondered if he'd make it home. But when reporters asked him what he wanted most, he didn't talk about revenge or attention or going viral. He just said quietly, "I want to live in a city where my mother doesn't have to fear the sound of sirens behind me." And for the first time in years, the city listened.